Two grown women sat in my elementary classroom just to observe, and they spent their whole time watching me. When I was in second grade, two grown women were introduced to our class as observers for the week. They were both seated directly behind me, and I instantly got a weird feeling in my stomach. Have you ever experienced the feeling of being watched? Yeah, that's what I felt. These women had clipboards with them, and they'd spend hours each day taking notes on me. I turned around to them a few times just because their vibe made me feel so uneasy, and every time, I caught them staring directly at me. That Friday afternoon, my teacher kept me back during recess, telling me the two women wanted to ask me some questions. I was seated in the most uncomfortable chair the teacher could find, and the two women proceeded to stand across the desk, leaning onto it and towering over me. I remember feeling absolutely terrified, especially when one of the women started off by saying, "If you tell the truth, things will be a lot easier for you." My knees were literally shaking with fear, and I just nodded in response. "Good boy," one of the women said. She then patted my head and proceeded to tell me in a very cold tone, specifically why they were here. She explained that my teacher knows I'm a good student, and so me recently failing tests doesn't make any sense. They then showed me examples of me spelling the same words, or doing the same math accurately on previous tests, but completely wrong with recent ones. "Have you been failing these tests on purpose?" When she asked this, I almost felt my whole world ending. My throat tightened, I felt myself getting hot, and I was so scared that for the first time in my life, I experienced that heart beating out of my chest feeling. For one, it was true. I was failing the test on purpose. On top of that, these women seemed extremely scary. I wanted to still deny it at first though, but before I even opened my mouth, one of the women told me they'd have no problem getting police involved unless I fessed up. The word police made my fear levels rise to 11, and I instantly burst into tears. I admitted that I had been failing my tests on purpose and begged them not to call the police. The woman sorta grinned, telling me she won't, but only if I tell her why I was faking my tests. The teacher got me tissues to wipe my tears, and after my eyes were dry again, I started explaining that I did it because I was jealous of the kids who seemingly got to have a second recess. You see, there was a group of 20 or so students across the entire grade who got taken out of class once a week for half the day. One day I saw them playing tag outside from inside the classroom, and I wanted in on the fun. That same day I asked one of them how he got put into that group, and he said, "Because I'm bad at spelling and math." Unfortunately, spelling and math were my two strongest subjects. I thought about it for a while, and I realized that to get taken out of class, I needed to dumb myself down. To become one of them, I had to act like them, think like them, and test like them. After I finally revealed the truth, the two women as well as the teacher looked blankly at me. They then told me not to do that again because there will be very serious consequences. And as the women were walking out, one of them turned around to me and told me, "Remember, little boys don't do well in jail. Don't make us call the police." I was so terrified of the whole encounter I never told a soul.